So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special edition of the Mind, Body, Business Show. I'm your host, Brian Kelly, and I cannot wait to bring on our guest expert, Kerry Barrett. She is just a bundle of joy, a lot of laughs. The thing is, though, she is so astute, so intelligent, so successful, and you're going to see why in just a moment. I cannot wait to share her with you. That is the whole purpose of this show, and that is it. The Mind, Body, Business Show is a show that I had put together with you in mind. And what does that mean? I interview top industry, highly successful entrepreneurs from all over the world. Kerry is no exception. And by doing so, I'm eliciting their success strategies. What is making them successful over time? For the sole purpose of you being able to take notes and then take action by modeling, which is a fancy word for copying, exactly what they do, what they have done to achieve success. Because here's the thing, could we all figure it out on our own? Eventually, probably. Do you want to figure it out on your own? Probably not. Why? Because it could take many, many more years to achieve a level of success that you want and you deserve by doing it all by yourself versus finding what recipes already are proven to work and just simply put them in your business, and then achieve success. So that is the Mind, Body, Business Show in a nutshell. It's about what I call the three pillars of success. Mind represents mindset. So to a person, each person I've interviewed, that I've followed, that I've studied, that is successful, to a person, they have a very positive and most importantly, a very flexible mindset. And body is literally about taking care of oneself physically through exercise and through nutrition. You're going to find out Kerry just did a workout right before coming on this show. I do that very often myself. It's a great time to get your energy up, and it's a great time to just feel good, because that's what it does. And then business is multifaceted. There are so many skill sets that one must master in order to become successful. And not only to just become successful, but then to scale and grow and continue to crush it and impact even more lives with your brilliance. And skill sets, what do those entail? Well, there are skill sets like marketing, sales, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could go on for quite some time. And being an astute person yourself, you can understand that mastering any one skill set can take a great deal of time. And the good news is you don't have to master not even all the ones I just mentioned. In fact, if you just mastered one, and one of those I just mentioned, then you can leverage the rest. And that one is the skill set of leadership. Now, look, it's like, Brian, I don't have a team yet. That's okay. Master being the leader of yourself and get that going. And then as soon as you possibly can, get the help you need and you deserve to help you with your business, and then really start honing in your leadership skills. Because what can happen then is, after you've done that, you can now bring in the people that have mastered those skill sets that you have yet to or may never master because of the time involved, and you can lead them. And that way you can leverage their abilities, their skill sets, and still build a thriving and successful business of your own. So that's tip number one to get going. So another wonderful aspect of highly successful people is that I have found, to a person, in addition to everything you just mentioned, they are also very avid readers of books, and not just any books, as you'll see in just a moment. And so with that, I'm going to very quickly segue into a small segment. We're going to bring Kerry on, I promise, really quick. A little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
There you see it, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Now, real quick, I want to throw out a word of caution, if I may, and that is resist the temptation to click away and start typing in these resources and checking them out while the show is running. Why? Because Kerry Barrett, who's coming on right after this, she is going to be dropping some huge bombs of knowledge, smart bombs, you name it, and you cannot miss them. I do not want you to miss them. And if you are taking your gaze and attention off and you're typing in and looking at a website while she's dropping these nuggets of wisdom that could potentially change your life, I would hate for you to miss that. And so instead, I implore of you to do the old fashioned thing. And that is take out a notepad and a pen, or you can do it on your computer if you have the real estate to do all this, and take notes. Write down reachyourpeaklibrary.com. That's one. And so on. So as Kerry is providing incredible resources as we go through, you'll want to write them down, but keep your attention on her. That is the key to success in viewing this show. Cool? All right. Reachyourpeaklibrary.com is a website that I had developed with you in mind. I am not kidding. I know it sounds a little cheesy, but I mean it. It was done with you in mind because I myself was not an avid reader until about the age of 47, which is now 11 years ago. So you can do the math. And once I began reading these books that you see scrolling up on the screen right now, and many more, I started realizing what a profound impact they could have on my business and my personal life, and they have. And so I compiled just those books that did that, only those that had a profound impact on me, either professionally or personally, or both. And I put them on this website for you. So all you have to do is find the first one that really appeals to you, read the little description, and if you like it, go get it. You don't have to get it from this website. This is not for making money for my company. This is for providing you a gift of value. You can go straight to Amazon. In fact, that's where these buttons actually go. And yeah, they are affiliate links, and I'll make a few cents, literally. So again, it's not about making money. Find a book you want, find and go get it wherever you like to get your books, and read it, devour it, come back to the library and pick the next one and keep going. Wash, rinse, repeat. That is literally my gift to you because it was absolutely a gift to me to learn the profound importance and sheer impact that reading very pertinent books had on my life. All right. And speaking of having incredible impact on lives, you know what's coming, right? Yeah, it is time to bring on the one and only Kerry Barrett. Here we go. She's coming right now. Get ready.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only Kerry Barrett.
Thank you for having me. I don't know if I actually encompass all of those adjectives. That's a lot to live up to. Big league, not so sure about that. Some of the others, yes.
Just all of them and more. Just all of them and more. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. We've been waiting a long time to have this show. We've had all these fun little scheduling things going on.
Yes.
And that's a lesson in itself, is persistence and discipline and keeping with it. There was no way I was letting you go, Kerry. I wanted you on this show so bad, and we're finally here. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with myself and my audience. I appreciate that so much.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for having me, and to the audience, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being here, and I'm excited to get this rolling as well. You're right. We had a couple of scheduling hiccups, but we are here. So
we made it.
Yes.
All right. A little bit of housekeeping before we actually jump in. I know it's a big tease, but I'm promising everyone it's going to be just a couple of minutes, and we're going to bring Kerry back. But real quick, a couple of housekeeping elements here. If you are struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming, and maybe you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people, this is one of the keys I have to tell you. And by great people, I'm talking about people just like Kerry Barrett. And grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key ingredients of this entire suite of resources we use to really get a high quality show out to you is what you see on the screen right there. It is the very service that we use right here, right now, to stream our very high quality live shows. And it's called StreamYard. You see it right there. Write this URL down just like you were writing down carpetbombmarketing.com. This one is ryp.im/stream live. No spaces, all together and all lowercase. ryp.im/stream live. So you can start streaming high quality live production, professional production shows right now. And you can do it for free. They have a trial. So go ahead and go give that a shot and practice. And you'll be amazed at just how easy it is to use and how high quality the results are. And one more thing as I bring Kerry back on the screen, as you see just above her beautiful left shoulder, it's the big insider secrets, the red and white, like stamp looking thing. It looks like that wax thing you put on an envelope. I love it. Yep, the other way.
Wait, am I screen right or screen left? Looks like I'm doing it the right way from here. No? Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Way over there. It's okay. It's on the right-hand side of your screen as you're watching this live. And the Big Insider Secrets, they sponsor this show. This is very important for everyone watching, and Kerry, you too. You're eligible. And what are you eligible for? At the end of the show, very near the end, I'm going to show you how you can enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort of your choosing all over the world, just for entering to win. So you do not want to miss that. Stay with us till the end. We've given away one vacation stay every show, all because of the Big Insider Secrets. So thank you, Mr. Jason Nast, my good friend, who gives us this ability to do so. Whew. All right. So what I'm going to do is give Miss Kerry Barrett the introduction she so richly deserves. Would that be all right with you, Kerry?
Go for it. Absolutely.
All right. I'm so waiting for this time. Kerry Barrett is an Emmy Award-winning anchor who turned a paralyzing fear of public speaking into a multi-decade career in broadcast journalism. I'm saying it slow on purpose so it really sinks in. For internationally renowned media institutions like NBC, ABC, and Fox TV stations, big ones. Now she helps course creators, coaches, companies, and individuals to break through mindset issues and cultivate their video X factor, or what she calls video IQ, or VIQ for short. I love that. Perfect. Now, officially, formally, welcome to the show, Kerry Barrett. Woo.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to get cracking. We've got a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Oh, my goodness. And yeah, and I can't wait to just finally stop talking and listen, because you have all the wisdom and nuggets that I want to learn from. That's one of the beautiful things about being a host of this kind of show. Yeah. I learn more than anybody on the planet. It is amazing. I love what I get to do. And you're a big reason for that, Kerry. So appreciate it again. I like to open up with a bit of the first word of the show, mind. So based on mindset. Yeah. To kind of give people an idea, what is it about Kerry that makes you successful? What is it? What is going on in that beautiful brain of yours? For instance, when you are waking up and you get out of bed and you know what's lying ahead of you. You have kids, you have school to take them to, you have your business to run, you have a husband, you have a lot going on in your life. Yeah. And to do all that and run a successful business, holy smokes. I mean, just to do it without all that extra stuff is difficult.
Right.
What is going on in your beautiful brain when you get up that keeps you motivated, that keeps you driven, that says, no matter what happens, Kerry is not stopping today or ever? Gosh. What is it for you?
Coffee? Does that count? No. Hitting the snooze button? No. I honestly, most days I feel like my life is held together with silly string and chewing gum. Like if good from afar, far from good. That's sort of like my motto. And every day is, we were talking before the show. I have a newly minted middle schooler, my oldest right now, and I have an 8 and a 5-year-old. And I launched my business shortly before the pandemic. So certainly some challenges there. What keeps me going? I think it's just, I've always had this, Well, the desire to help people, obviously, number one. I overcame my own fears of speaking, public speaking, and then, of course, speaking on camera. I also know what the power of being on camera and creating video can do for a company, a business, a brand. And so, certainly, that is a huge motivator. I've always had this very strong sort of internal drive as well. I've made a lot of choices academically and professionally that go against the grain of what most people thought I was or who I even thought I was. So taking risk and challenging myself every day is I think what ultimately drives me. You know, there is to a degree a tendency for entrepreneurs to always want to go the next level, right? We're never content. We reached this milestone, now we want to do the next thing. I would say that is probably my weakness as well. I have to be able to sort of dial it back and say, okay, enjoy the process, enjoy the challenges, and recognize that this internal drive that I have is probably never going away. So I can put it aside for a little while and try and enjoy the journey as well.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I think every entrepreneur is guilty of that infraction, which is not even an infraction. I think it's something that really helps motivate us and push us. It keeps me excited,
Yeah.
they call it shiny object syndrome. And there are some times where, that can detract you from what you're focused on.
Yep.
And I always put it to a test. I said, how can or will this help me achieve my current focused goal?
Mm-hmm.
And if
That's
the answer
smart.
isn't compelling enough, I'm not moving. Even though I want to really, really bad.
You have to rein yourself in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Recently, I just acquired several services, but it was a culmination of research and time and things that came together. And yes, they all are going to benefit the focus.
Well, it's like it's constantly percolating. I remember when I first started my business and there was not honestly a lot of thought that I put into it, which in retrospect was probably pretty dumb. But I remember my husband saying, well, you realize your biggest challenge is going to be putting this away when 6 o'clock rolls around. And it's not that clean. It's not a hard out at 6 p.m. The computer goes off and life changes. But that is I think my biggest struggle is putting it down.
And I've been there too. So yeah, I think this is a common thing. I remember many years ago, I let that go to an absolute horrible extreme.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I wasn't even coming down and having dinner with my wife and kids because I was so into it. And I just didn't want to. And I was actually upset when she would tell me dinner's ready. I'm mad at her for making dinner. I was like, what an idiot.
You sound like a terrible person, Brian.
Yeah. And back then I probably was.
Oh,
and thankfully, she had the wherewithal to say, we need to have a chat. Yeah. And, we did. And I said, wow, thank you for the wake up call. And it's still a balancing act. It never has, that part never has stopped except for I'm not a jerk anymore. And I do shut it off well in advance and spend time with my wife and kids. So
I mean, that's why a lot of us do, this. We have this idea of, oh, I'm going to quit the corporate grind. I'm going to quit the 9 to 5. Now it's 24/7, but it is, I took a vacation last week and it was last minute, spur of the moment, last, hurrah before school started. And in the corporate world and the news world, I never would have been able to do that. I could have never just decided I wasn't going to come into work for the next 5 days and my bosses would have been okay with it. So there are certainly benefits and payoffs as well.
Yeah. And it's funny. Same thing. We were gone just this last week as well. Yeah. So we had a coinciding vacation times. And I just remember I came up with some ideas right before the vacation started. And I couldn't wait to get back to concentrate work on it. But, thankfully, while on vacation, we focused on the tasks at hand, which wasn't just relaxation. I won't go into it, but I was able to turn it off. And I, like you, I can check email discreetly on occasion and text messages and it's all good. We now have the understanding that, this is good for both of us, the more of this business. But, you just learn over time.
Yeah.
Where to throttle it back, when to push the gas pedal to go all the way forward, and just be in communication with those that you love, that you spend your time with, and make sure everyone's in alignment. And it's not always going to be that way. Even when you think you got it all lined up, there are going to be issues. So
Most
Just know it
times
and
I
go for
realize
it. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people look at someone like Kerry Barrett, a TV anchor woman that's been doing this for, more than a decade, and
Yeah,
think,
more than
oh,
2
she's got it all
decades at this
together and
point,
it's a
yeah.
piece of cake for her. She's like, she just sits back on her little hammock and swings in the umbrella drink and her team does all the work for her. And I mean, she's got it made. It's like,
That
no.
sounds I wanna live her life. Who is she?
Yeah, it takes about 10 years to become an overnight success. I just hope people understand that.
Yeah, yep. That's true. And that's on a good decade.
Yeah, and the really cool thing I love about what you've done is you've taken your corporate experience and you've molded it into this entrepreneurial
Yeah.
one that you are providing for your clients, and we will get into that and get more deep on what you do and who you do it for and what does it entail and what kind of stories. I bet there's some good ones, especially with like camera, stage fright, and things like that.
Yep.
But I really want to get into that, but I'm really impressed on how you leveraged your corporate experience, which everyone out there listening, if you're in a corporate environment right now and you want out, just think about the things, the elements. It doesn't have to be exactly what you do, but it could be the things you became knowledgeable of, all
Yeah.
the way down to, I used to do stuff with software engineering where we would write massive volumes of pages before writing a single line of code. And I hated that part of it. But I learned the regimen of discipline and of completeness, and it helped the end product be higher
Sure.
quality. I took those things and implement them in my business today. So there's so many great things that corporate can teach you and does, and then remove the chaff and get
Yeah.
that out of there, the stuff you don't
Yeah.
like. Learn what your manager is doing. How are they leading? Do you like
Mhm.
their style? If you do, model it. If you don't, find a different way.
Or take
All that stuff.
inspiration from different people and, come up with your own. Everything is a work in process. Everything is being refined if you're doing it right anyway, as you move along. And sometimes it might require a complete recalibration, but that's part of the process as well. I've certainly made a heck of a lot of mistakes since I started my business. And if I wasn't willing to recalibrate or move in a different direction, and it's business practices and it's mindset and it's everything. It's going to be a tough road to hoe for sure.
And that, what, for me, that somewhat compels me to go forward. I like that it's not super easy as a
Yeah.
challenge.
Mm-hmm.
That makes us entrepreneurs kind of sick, right?
I think we are. Most of us are. And I went from the news business to entrepreneurship. Like newsies are weird too. So I got a double dose.
Oh my. I'm curious, do you have one story from your corporate time that stands out that was just where it was just an absolute debacle and everything was going nuts and it was hard to, get back on track? Maybe you're actually doing a newscast or something and something went crazy. What would one cool story be?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's where all the debacles that you can see. They were all on air. Thankfully, when I first started in the news business, YouTube wasn't really a thing, so you couldn't see the mistakes there. But certainly I made my fair share of them, especially in the beginning of my career. And I'm trying to think of one of the worst. I mean, the mic goes out, the prompter drops, my scripts are all messed up. But I think one of the biggest was one of the ones that I remember anyway, was I had just started, I started my first TV job. I was in Wichita Falls, Texas. And of course they tell you, you're not going to be on air for the first week. You're just going to learn the systems and who the producers are, yada, yada, yada. Well, of course they threw me on air my first day there and I was not at all prepared. And I was covering a blood drive. It was in November, blood donations are historically short in the winter and fall months, and the Red Cross was doing a blood drive. Anyway, I had zero idea of what to say. They put me in the parking lot. The parking lot was empty. The mobile van was there. There was like one rusted out Datsun, it was barren. Well, as it just so happened, when I was an intern at a different TV station when I was in college, the reporter that I worked with also covered a similar blood drive, I believe also in November. And I went with her, except Her live shot was packed. There was a line, 50 people deep. The parking lot was full. It was just a flurry of activity. And so she started her live shot with, well, as you can see, the parking lot behind me is full. There's a line of people waiting to donate blood, blah, 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 blah. I froze so completely on my first live shot that I'm like, as you can see, Laura and Doug, the parking lot behind me is full as I reference a completely empty parking lot. There's a line, 30 people deep at the live, and you could almost hear their brains exploding. Like, what is she talking about? There's nobody there. But I froze so completely that I couldn't think of anything other to say other than what I had heard somebody else say. And I just parroted it. And that was 25 years ago. And I promise you, I will never forget it. Ever. And I don't think they will either.
And the great thing about all of that is, look, you're still doing it. You persevered, you got past it, you didn't perish as a result.
Right.
And I think, and one of your fortes and one of the things you are genius about is helping people overcome any fears they might have, being on camera, being in public eye. We're live.
Yeah.
Live is a different animal because there are no edits.
You can't unring the bell.
Yeah. There's you cannot real time edit out, a bleep or anything. We are raw, we are real, we are authentic. And this show, when it's done, my team, when they edit it, I instruct them only take off the very beginning with the countdown timer and the very end, the extra silence time, leave everything else in. I want it to be 100% authentic.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people freeze. Oh my gosh, let alone be on video at all. I don't want to go live. And so that's where, Kerry, where you help people. And gosh, you know what? Let's just get into that because I am so intrigued and curious about what it is you do specifically for your clientele. And it's so perfectly in alignment with this show because we want to show people how to become successful. And I agree with you. Video is king right now. Yeah. And it will be for quite some time. Yeah. There's no better platform or medium in which to get the word out about you and your business and your brand. And that's what you help people do, as I understand it. So Kerry, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to do this a little earlier than I normally do. And that's good. I'm going to pull up your website. Thanks. And if you wouldn't mind, give us a nice overview of exactly what it is you do for your clients, and who those are. Like, who's your target market? Are they single moms? Are they entrepreneurs? Are they, what are they? Corporate entities, that kind of thing. And then if you have a success story or two you'd like to share, then go ahead and do that too. This will be your time. I'm going to pull up your site and let her rip. Here we go.
Thank you. Yeah. So I, as you mentioned earlier on in the program, I used to have a absolutely crushing, debilitating fear of speaking, not just on camera, but speaking at all. And so you take public speaking, you mix it with being on camera, and it's two of the things that most people loathe, and you combine them and you make the perfect storm. What I realized, though, when I was in my news business or when I was working in the news industry is that you can overcome those things. And video, being on camera, was the way I grew my personal brand. It's the way I went from Market 154, tiny Wichita Falls, Texas, to network news, is by creating a brand and authority and that like no trust factor through being on camera. It works the same way for business owners. So I have a digital program, a digital course called the VIQ Academy, and I teach coaches, consultants, entrepreneur types, service providers how to create video. Now that is the whole program. That's my signature program. It's everything from finding your audience, understanding your message, background, shot setup, delivering on camera, platforms, turning viewers into customers, editing, shooting, the whole nine. We also have a spotlight program that focuses on that fear that most of us have, which is delivering on camera, because it's not just enough to say the words. If you're going to drown out the noise around you, you have to have a compelling persona. You have to be able to be yourself on camera, certainly, but with the ability to grab an audience and hold them. And that audience, by the way, side note, is always an audience of one, even if you're talking to 1 million people. That's how you connect. And so I teach those people, coaches, consultants, service providers, how to create video, how to be on camera, because it's not just about creating video for social. It's also about creating video to nurture your potential clients and your potential purchasers through their buyer's journey, if you will. So it's about vlogs and video podcasts like this one, and live streams and master classes and video ads and virtual or video sales letters and landing pages and all of that stuff that you can use to nurture your clients from the beginning until the end. And my landing pages have a great conversion rate. And I don't think because I'm a great landing page designer or a great copywriter, it's because I always include video. My emails have a really solid open rate because they always have video in them. And that's what drives people to want to know more about you. And I think, especially if you're a coach or a consultant, or your name is the one that's on the side of the building, your face is the one whom your client is going to see as you walk them through whatever your service or product is. They want to feel that connection. They want to know that you're a real person and that they'll enjoy working with you. And video establishes authority, it establishes credibility, and it opens up other opportunities. It opens up opportunities in media, media hits, PR opportunities, publicity opportunities, live streams, virtual events. It opens a whole door of visibility opportunities. So creating video and being on camera is really the only thing I knew how to do when I started my business. I mean, the only thing I knew how to do. And that's where I do all my marketing. I create video, and very rarely do I do sales calls, and very rarely does somebody contact me who isn't already warm. Most of the time people contact me because they've done a masterclass with me, or they've done a video challenge, and then they're on my email list and they get my video tips and they watch my vlogs. And so they are already warm. I don't know that I've ever had somebody reach out who hasn't turned into a client because I've already sort of nurtured them from beginning to end.
Yeah, I love that. And everything you said is so spot on. Talking about you're building your authority status, your authenticity, visibility, all of those. And the know, like, and trust factor is built in, because especially though, I would caution people, and I know this is how you operate and probably how you coach, is to be yourself, not someone else.
No, 100%. I mean, there are things you need to know about being on camera that are, different. So for example, I'll use an analogy that most people probably understand. Most of us likely at some point have had to give some sort of presentation. And let's imagine you're giving that presentation in a stadium full of tens of thousands of people. The way that you deliver there is quite different than the way that you deliver if you're sitting in a quiet conference room 3 feet across from the one person to whom you're delivering. It's a similar concept. You have to deliver on camera slightly different, because the camera takes a 3D person, you, Brian, me, Kerry, and turns us into a 2D vision, if you will. We're in this little box. There's no context for us. There's no context for the audience. So it's overcoming those challenges, but it's not about changing who you are. It's about being you plus a little bit.
Yeah. And a lot of people want to please and be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
And once you realize that will never happen and you're okay with it, then you can relax and be yourself.
Absolutely.
A lot of people talk about fake it till you make it. I would say never do that when it comes to video of any kind. You can amp up your energy level that's a little bit higher than you normally would, because people are attracted to that. But keep it real, keep it authentic.
Yes.
And be yourself. I mean, if I've seen people that come on and they don't wear super nice clothes. I chose to do this. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You just be consistent with your own brand, your own image. I've had guests that come on and they wear t-shirts and they're fully tatted. They got tattoos everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. And that's fine. If that's your brand and your image, just be consistent. Lots of great things. But yeah, we have so much in common. We could tag team this all night. I gotta caution myself to be quiet and let Kerry talk more.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. I think one of the things that, where I made my leap from being fearful to being confident is every day in small doses. We were talking earlier on, it's not about doing great video right from the outset. If you're on camera, you're doing video, you're likely not going to like the first dozen hits that you do, but it's quantity, and then you can move into quality. And once you have some skills and some strategies or tactics down, and you've been able to practice them, and your confidence starts to grow, that's when you can really begin to explore the space. You begin to really develop who you are on camera, much like a public speaker develops their stage presence. You begin to develop your on-camera presence. And again, it's not about being fake. It's just about taking those things that really make you shine and knowing how to amplify them in a real way. And once you figure out that no matter what happens, you have a skill set that you can fall back on, even if you're not feeling confident in the moment, you know that you can handle whatever comes your way. And then that's the life-changing moment, the business-changing moment.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I have a mentor who I absolutely love and adore. He's 18 years my junior, could literally be my son by age. I never cared about that, never bothered me. Gender doesn't impact how I think of people, race, religion, none of that. But he had so many qualities and so much great information. I was trying to get him on my show. This is long after I was his lead trainer for his seminars for a period of 2 years or so. And he has cystic fibrosis, so he had to stop the seminar industry because it was taking more of a toll on him, and he needed to heal up and keep himself going. He just turned 40. I'm so proud of him and thankful that he's my friend. One of the greatest tips he ever gave me, because we were practicing a closing sequence from stage, but I was practicing this at his facility in Newport Beach, and I was stumbling all over it. And I don't know why, but he goes, hold on a second. Can you think of one person you would like to tell about this very thing we're doing the close for? And I said, actually, yeah, I've got one in mind. He goes, okay, imagine him being right there and talk to him. And it just flowed.
Yeah.
Instantly.
That's
so like you said, you're talking to one, and I caught on to that. I heard that. I said, that's gold right there.
Yeah. And it helps if you're thinking of somebody that you know that fits your ideal avatar, audience member, whomever it is. If you know somebody personally who fits that, think of that person. If you don't know somebody personally who fits into those parameters, talk to somebody who you really trust, who you know has your back and is going to be a buoy in whatever sea of chaos is unfolding on the lens at that moment. And that has a way of calming. It takes a little practice. You do have to think about it, because most people get stuck in their heads. They're talking to a little black hole or a green light or a red light, and you have to get beyond that. That comes through practice. But if you can imagine who it is that you really want to talk to, you have a way of just naturally connecting with that person. And once you really are yourself, all of those other things, the skills that you've learned, the tactics, the strategies, it all begins to elevate naturally. You begin to put less thought into it because you're putting your audience at the forefront. And once you put your audience at the forefront, the rest, most of it anyway, comes fairly easily.
You know what that just reminded me? That is a bomb dropping moment, if there ever was one. Oh.
I love it.
Smart bombs of wisdom, knowledge bombs. Yeah, that was another tip. Same thing. Going right before going up on stage, the butterflies would just start swarming, and you're in the back, and they're introducing you, and you're like, holy moly, this is it. And it doesn't matter how many times you've done it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that always worked was the reason you're nervous is you're thinking about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you just said it. So now think about what kind of positive impact are you going to be able to bring to the people that are there.
Yeah.
Instantly. The butterflies escape. You go up there and you crush it. It works every single time.
100%.
Spot on.
Awesome. I need to
this
meet
young lady knows what she speaketh of, and you're way more accomplished than I am in this area, and I just love. That's one of the reasons I love talking to you so much. There's so much in common. But you have so much more seat time, I like to call it, like a race car. You're in the seat a lot longer. You've done this a lot longer. Yeah. And it's really affirming to hear you, what you're saying, because it's exactly what I'm experiencing throughout this whole process.
You're great at this, though.
A lot of practice, like you said.
Yeah.
A lot of practice. Yeah. And you know what? I'm having fun every moment.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about, in the beginning, maybe you're worried about, I just didn't want to mess up on stage. And I wanted to so bad to help impact somebody positively. I
Yeah.
made it I put too much pressure on myself back then.
Mm-hmm.
And now and then after you do it a few times, you're like, you know what? It's not about me. And I can just follow the program, what we're doing, what we're talking about. And I see the people's lives change before my eyes, what we used to do. And it's so fulfilling. I couldn't wait for that moment again, and
Yeah.
it just fed me. And so,
100%. I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It really is. That's where the change happens.
and that's one of the reasons I was so supremely excited about getting you on this show, because I feel, because of you, by proxy, I'm helping bring an immense amount of value to people, because video right now, as we've said already, it is the key to marketing right now.
Mhm.
It's the key to getting your name and your brand and your awareness out there. It's the key to getting your voice heard. Maybe you
Yeah.
don't have a business and you just want to talk about ideas and topics that matter to you.
Mhm.
In any case, this is the woman to come to, and we'll give you that information. In fact, she also, by the way, has a free gift at the end of this show that we'll announce, as well as the vacation stay. I'm telling you, you want to stick around to the end. Whether you're watching this live or you're listening to it on audio podcast or you're watching a recorded video. And by that, if you're not watching live and you're listening right now or watching, and you want to see this live, you want to interact, we love getting questions during the show, head on over to themindbodybusinessshow.com. I know your fingers are going to be sore after typing all that in. Themindbodybusinessshow.com. And click on any of the buttons you'll see there. It'll drop you straight down. You can opt in, and the only thing we'll ever do is announce when the next live show is coming on, who it is, and that way you'll know. And with a link, and you can just click the link and you're right there. Make it super simple. We have nothing for sale. In fact, we give you something just for registering. You're going to love it. So go to themindbodybusinessshow.com and be sure to join us live. We'd love to have you. We'd love to interact. We'll bring your name up on the screen, give you some exposure, because you'll provide value in asking great questions. So do that. So I want to ask you, now that you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you have been, and it was probably in your blood from day one. You just hadn't found the path to get there, but you learned an invaluable skill set in the process. And now you're taking that, as we talked about. How has being an entrepreneur compared to a corporate life, how has that affected your family life overall, which I know is very important to you?
Oh boy. Good and bad. I would say in the beginning, the second year was harder than the first. I don't know if that was pandemic related or if I was just in the second year thrash. It has, on some days, made me more stressed, which is hard to think of. I mean, I've covered so many giant, I reported from Iraq. Shockingly, I was more stressed out running my business than I was doing live reporting from Iraq during the second Gulf War. I would also say, though, that my motivation, my excitement for waking up has never been as great as it is now. I could get all kinds of stress during the day, but at the end of the day, I still do really love it. And I love getting up in the morning. End of my corporate career, that was not the case. So I'm a happier person. I think I'm more pleasant to be around. And I think for my daughter, who's old enough to really recognize it, my sons are not quite at that age yet. They're a little bit younger. She sees her mom doing something that's cool. I mean, the news business was cool. She enjoyed that, certainly, but she has a little bit of an entrepreneurial spark that has really only struck in the past couple of years. And I like to see that it is spurring her creativity, and she's thinking about what sort of life she wants to design for herself when she gets older, in a way that I never was at her age.
Isn't that just so fun to even contemplate?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I have two kids as well, and both have a little bit of entrepreneurialism in them. And I think as they go through life, that will increase, because they saw dad and the same thing. So you're leaving an amazing, beautiful, wonderful legacy for your kids. At least they know there's a choice. You've been on both, and you can tell them and relate to them. Look, you can choose corporate or entrepreneur. Neither one is for everyone.
100%. Like, don't listen to any of the people on LinkedIn who tell you starting your own business is the only way to go. It's not.
Mm-mm.
But you have choices, and we don't talk about that very much when we're in high school, and certainly not in college. And unless your family, it consists of entrepreneurs, at least in my case, it's not, and it wasn't ever something that was really considered. I don't honestly know that I mean, my dad was a civil engineer, general manager. He worked for large corporations. We moved all over the world, and we never really discussed, I was not interested in business, and now I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah, we live parallel lives. My dad worked at NASA for the government
Oh yeah.
his entire career, and
Yeah.
that's all I knew growing up was go to college, get good grades, get a good job, retire,
Mhm.
and then die.
Yeah.
And I thought,
It sounds
this is
great,
what
doesn't
life.
it?
Yeah, it's like this is what life has to offer. Well, okay, if that's
Please.
what it is, then I will do it, and I did.
Yeah.
Like a dutiful little soldier for quite some time, and then wait, what is this other thing over here called entrepreneurship? I like that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
people that have you ever noticed this? You've gone to seminars, I'm guessing,
Sure.
like in networking events.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Oh, yeah.
noticed that almost the moment you step foot in the hotel or venue, that you feel like you're in your second home?
I do. Yes. Aside from my extreme shyness and introversion. No, but I do. I absolutely like I just being in that energy and being in that space and seeing what other people are doing and hearing their stories. I think that's probably a huge part of it for me anyway, is I want to hear what everybody's doing and what their stories are and how they've grown, because I'm always interested in that. And you're right. That part does absolutely feel like a second home.
And it just like oozes of positivity
Mhm.
and what if and can do attitudes.
Yeah, for
When you're
sure.
in corporate, it's the exact opposite. Drudgery, how we can't do it. We've always done it the other way before, so why would we change now? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know, to improve it. I'm just
Right.
thinking,
Yeah.
right? And it's just drudgery every single day, day in and day out, versus going there and everyone is hungry.
Yeah.
Everyone's and entrepreneurs who are successful, especially the successful ones, are there to help other people as well. And
Yeah.
that really drives them. I love helping
It's huge.
people. I don't need to make a dollar every time someone is on Zoom with me.
Right.
I just did it earlier today. I helped a guy for an hour and I didn't ask for anything in return. I just am building relationships. If something comes of it down the road, it comes. But in the interim, I'm filling my joy cup with
Yeah.
helping people.
I like
That's
that.
amazing.
I need to put that on like some sort of motivational quote near my desk. I am filling my joy cup today.
Yeah. And you can get a mug and put it on your coffee cup.
There you go. Love it.
It's a cup full of joy because it's going to have coffee in it, right?
Yeah. And sometimes something else.
Oh, it's okay. We have no rating on this show, whatever it is.
Not tonight, though. This is just water.
Yeah, I know there's a clear liquid that disguises itself as water, but yeah, I have the same thing. It's cloaked in a smart water bottle.
This is a tall shot of vodka. Okay?
It is. That's one way to celebrate the kids going back to school. I love it. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite questions that I get to ask, this is, I mean, it's up there. I love to find out what's working for people, because what used to work when we talk about marketing, what worked 10 years ago doesn't necessarily work now. And what is working now doesn't always necessarily will, or it may not work 10 years from now.
Sure.
It's an always ebbing, flowing, changing, like living organism.
Yeah.
And so what I love to ask each individual that comes on the show is, for you, Kerry, right now, no other time, but right now, when it comes to marketing your business, your brand, it could be word of mouth, it could be Facebook ads, it could be referral marketing, whatever it is. What is working for you the best right now as we talk tonight?
LinkedIn videos, LinkedIn posts, videos, Instagram as well. I mean, I closed a huge corporate deal very, very quickly a few weeks ago, strictly from LinkedIn. They found me on LinkedIn. They reached out via LinkedIn, and that's how it happened. A couple of them, actually. There's another one in the works. LinkedIn posts they're, I mean, like I said a couple minutes ago, they're warm when they reach out to you, and it has been working for me. The other big thing that has recently started, I'm mumbling around a little bit here, but I had sort of put networking to the side because I had my blinders on and I was focused on creating my digital program. I've recently re-engaged with certain networking and connectors groups, and they have been extraordinarily helpful and lucrative, I guess is perhaps the right word to use as well. Not just with securing clients or meeting new potential clients, but also just sharing knowledge as well, how to grow, helping one another out. You talked about filling your joy cup a minute ago, and I think they helped me with that as well. So it's probably word of mouth from those networking groups, and certainly, absolutely 100% LinkedIn video and posts.
I love that. And it's interesting. It's different than most.
Yeah.
But it also makes more sense than most
Yeah.
because LinkedIn is inherently a business related platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just imagine what your profile looks like with your past TV anchor work in there. That just shows massive authority. And folks that are out there like, well, but that's Kerry, she's all that. She's been through decades on television. Well, everyone has their own skill set that they can hold up high. You get involved with Kerry, you will then be a online video sensation. You'll have it, you'll get it dialed in because of Kerry's help, and you will get that kind of notoriety. And I'm sure you probably help them with their LinkedIn profiles to get that juiced up as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things is don't freak out over the idea of putting social media video out there. Number one, you can always delete it. Yes, I know it's saved somewhere, but at the end of the day, you can always delete it. People won't see it scrolling through your profile. And number two, when you're doing a recorded piece of content like that, you have the ability to do all sorts of edit. And really the content that's performing video wise anyway is short. It's 30 seconds. Like anybody can be amazing in 30 seconds of video with a lot of editing. So don't worry about being perfect or, I don't have decades of experience. You don't need it. You need somebody who can edit it for you if you don't know how to, and you need your face, your phone, and your voice. And that's literally it. Those are the three things you need. And those are the only three things you need.
Face, phone, and voice. That's it. That is the recipe for success.
Yes.
If you attach that with Kerry Barrett and get her to help you through that, because there are a lot of things like you're just hearing right now that you're saying, Kerry, that they probably hadn't thought of. Like, wow, that's all I need, and I don't need to be all stressed out, and I can get somebody else to edit it for me. I shouldn't worry about that part.
It can actually be fun.
Yeah. I mean,
it really can
you could start compiling your own blooper reels and just have whoever's editing edit out the stuff where you screwed up and make that part of a compilation video.
It's amazing. That's like, I get great traction on my blooper reels, and I do have quite a few of them, but they're fun. Listen, I think you mentioned something that I think is pertinent there, and I know we're coming up on time, and I'll keep it very quick, but the biggest challenge for creators of business content, whether it's your own business or your corporations, is that for the most part, the videos that we see are pretty boring. They're very dry. If you are thinking about creating video for your business, I would suggest looking to entertainment style videos. And I don't mean that you need to be dancing in a tube top like a TikTok video or anything that. All I'm meaning is that it's infotainment. You have to give information, but people also, at the end of the day, people want to be entertained. There's far too much other great content out there that is entertaining and also informative for people to sit through something that is boring them to tears. So just think about how you can create stories and video components, whether it's through your delivery or through graphics or music or whatever that's added on after, to make your content informational and entertaining.
Yeah, you hit one word, I think, that covers that almost every time, and that is stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is what blew my mind, Kerry, from speaking on stage, and it was ingrained into me because I'm all worried about all the slides we have and making sure I hit all the bullet points and I get all the facts and figures because that's important to the audience. And then my mentor kept saying, no, it's about telling stories. They need to be related to what you're talking about, but people lean in far more when you're telling a story, and it can be your own story, it can be someone else's story, it can be a made-up story.
Yeah.
But and I know a 30 seconds to a minute may not sound like a long time, but you can probably whip out a quick story in that time that's pertinent to the message you're trying to make.
Absolutely. Stories sit with people longer, and they're the way you take facts and then turn them into useful information or transformational information. So tell a story and then use that story to bring a specific statistic to life, if you will.
Yes. Okay. That is so well deserving of, you probably guessed it. Yeah.
Oh, another one. How many of you? What's your record bomb dropping animation per show? Because I
It's
need to get
funny.
there.
You're the second person that's brought that up, and the first person that ever brought that up was the very first time I ever used it. And she said,
Oh,
"You should make a contest out of this and see who gets the most." I'm like, "Well, no, that wouldn't be right because it would be too many bombs." um, in the beginning, I used them too much, in my
okay.
opinion, because it became a distraction. But
Yeah.
probably, I'm guessing 5 would be
Good, I
5 or
got 3
6.
more to go, and I only have 5 minutes.
Ah, well, we're coming up on the first hour of this 2-hour show, so we're still. I'm kidding. Carrie's going,
He's like,
holy.
wait a minute, I didn't sign up for till 10:30. Uh-oh.
And so with that, I do want to share with everyone the 2 gifts we were talking about real quick before we sign off, though. So you still don't, you want to stick around, because Kerry, I've got a doozy of a question that I love to ask every one of my guests
Okay.
before we end the show. It's very profound. It's very powerful. It can be a little personal, but don't worry. I mean, you're a pro. You've been through so much. I know it's just going to be like water off a duck's back with you. Some people take a few moments to contemplate the answer. Others have it instantly. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Either way. But before we do that, I did promise everyone 2 prizes. So we'll get the vacation giveaway done first, and then the more valuable one, in my humble opinion, will be what Kerry is offering you, and that's coming right on the heels of that. So first, we'll put up the prize, and you must be watching this live to enter. And just as a hint, guest experts, i.e. Kerry Barrett, you are allowed to enter as well.
Oh,
So
okay. I'm in.
when I bring up the information, everyone write it down. You have time after the show's over, then go to this website that I'll put up on the screen and enter to win. Sound good? Here it is. Write this down. You want to go to RYP, and just so you know, that stands for Reach Your Peak, which is my company's name, to put it in perspective. RYP.im/vacation. All one word, all lowercase. RYP.im/vacation. Go do that after the show's over. Write that down. I hope you've got that down, because I'm getting rid of it right now. Oh, maybe not. Wasn't that fast. All right. And so I wanted to also put in the chat area for folks so they can easily get to it, the very link that will take you to the gift that Kerry is offering. And I will let you take it away. I'll bring that up on the screen as well to let people know exactly what wonderful gift you are offering for them. And much appreciated, by the way.
Absolutely. So this is my 5-day crappy video challenge. I usually offer it for $47. For you, my friend, it is free. It's 5 days of mini trainings on how to create video. At the end of each day, there is a very easy assignment. You can post your video in my Facebook group, private, so surrounded only by like-minded professionals. This is not for the world to see. And I will give you critique and feedback, tell you where your strengths are and where you could stand to tweak things, maybe just a little bit. I call it the crappy video challenge because too often we hear you need to be doing great videos, great videos, great videos. And like I said earlier on, right out of the gate, you're never going to do a great video. So let's use this opportunity to make all of our mistakes, shake out the creeps or the jitters that we have for being on camera and get some feedback and learn in the process as well. So yes, the 5-day crappy video challenge, and I hope to see you there.
That is such an awesome thing to do. I wish I had thought of that, Kerry. That is genius, because you're getting people to shake off the rust, shake off the cobwebs, shake off the butterflies, to a point where they gain a little bit more confidence, knowing that they have a recipe for success. That recipe is Kerry Barrett, and she's going to show you and take you by the hand. Like she said, she's going to critique. And how much did you say all this cost? I'm sure it's a lot.
No, you know what? Normally, because it's a go at your own pace program, I do this for $47. So less almost than a good coffee each day, but you can have it for free.
Free?
Yes,
What?
well, free.
Okay, so that warrants audibly saying, and how long is this offer good for free?
Oh,
Or do
for
you
your
have a limit?
audience, for the next 10 days.
All right. Fantastic. So here is the URL. You want to go to courses, COURSES kerrybarrett.com. I'll spell Kerry. It's KERRY, and her last name is BARRETT. Remember to write all this down. / VIQ. Remember that's video IQ. 5, the number 5, the word day, DAY, the word crappy, that's with 2 P's, CRAPPY, video challenge. So VIQ 5-day crappy video challenge is all together, no spaces, no hyphens, no dashes, all lowercase. So once again, it's courses.kerrybarrett.com / VIQ 5-day crappy video challenge. And you get to get into this for free. It's good for 10 days from the day that we are doing this, which I don't even have that memorized, but it is September the 6th of 2022. So you have till roughly the 16th of the same month to get this for free. Let me tell you something. If you miss the free window and you got to pay $47, I'll guarantee you it's worth 10 times that just to get you past and over the hump that you may never get over unless you sequester Kerry's assistance and help. There is nothing, I'll tell you, nothing like getting feedback from a professional who knows what they're doing. That's how I became a much better speaker than I started. Is I got incredible feedback by very experienced veterans in the field, and it catapulted my progress. And that is exactly, I know without question, that is what Kerry will do for you. So take advantage of it one last time. Courses.kerrybarrett.com / VIQ 5-day crappy video challenge. I might be saying this one in my sleep. That's pretty cool.
I know. I'm like, thank you for all of that. maybe I need to make it shorter.
And that's fine, and that's good. So I hope everyone wrote that down because it's 10 days. So if those who want it bad enough, they'll be okay with typing all it in and writing it all down. I think there's nothing wrong with the length of that. That's like perfect for it. They got to put a little bit of effort into it to get the value you're going to be given. I mean, it just makes sense to me. So I appreciate that so very much.
Thank you.
And yes, we are at the end of the show, except don't go anywhere. We have that one profound, highly valuable question. Before we do that, real quick, the best way to contact Kerry Barrett is...
Oh my gosh, I'm going to keep it easy. Go to my LinkedIn profile, KerryBarrett. You can find all of my contact information there, my website, email, phone number, probably the best way to get a hold of me. I also respond to DMs, so don't hesitate to reach out that way as well.
Awesome. Thank you so very much for everything. And we're not done yet. We got that one final question. Here's the thing about it, Kerry, and there's a couple things, actually. Okay. There is no such thing as a wrong answer to this question.
Okay.
It doesn't exist. It's impossible. In fact, it's just the exact opposite. The only correct answer is yours. Yeah, I've had lots of people answer this question, but yours is going to be the right answer.
You're freaking me out.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing is, the reason is the answer is going to be unique to you. That is all that makes it personal. So it's not like getting into your personal life. So it's just unique to you, and it's profound. You're gonna crush it. Are you ready?
I think. I don't know.
I love it.
I'm nervous.
Bringing back those butterflies. I love it. So that's authenticity right there, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. All right, here we go. Kerry Barrett, how do you define success?
Oh, boy. It's changed. It has changed a lot over the last 10 years. I used to say I would rather be crying in my Ferrari than happy as a lark riding the bus. I'd rather be happy as a lark riding on a bus than crying in my Ferrari. Success to me means, yes, certainly my revenue goals and my business goals, but it also means having time to enjoy life, enjoy my children, and realizing that, despite my again, financial goals, having piles sitting around is not what constitutes, at least in my opinion, a quality life or a life well lived. And being miserable in a Ferrari is not my idea of happiness or success.
And you know how this is going to end. I think you have an idea. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Kerry Barrett, you have been absolutely amazing. I appreciate you. I cannot tell you how much, and we finally did it. Oh,
I
this has been
know.
awesome.
Yay. Go
I don't know
us.
how I'm gonna do the next, 50 shows now that I've had Kerry on, because it's like, wow, that was awesome.
Your guests are great. I'm not saying that to give myself a pat on the back, but you really do have some remarkably talented people that join you on this. And I've enjoyed listening to their nuggets of wisdom as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I strive to always bring on more and more accomplished entrepreneurs as time goes on. And I mean, I've had the great Les Brown on this show, and so many wonderful, amazing people, and some that people have never heard of that are multi-millionaires that are just people like you and I, that they put on their pants one leg at a time, at least as far as I know. I've not seen anyone jump into them yet.
Has anybody showed up here without their pants on? That's the question.
I don't have pants on right now. So when you stand up, I'll show you. I'm kidding.
Wait, suddenly this show took a turn. I didn't know it was that kind of show, Brian. The after hours version.
Yeah, it's more than just a show. We're doing show and tell. So. It's all good. And that's the other thing, Kerry, I'm sure you'll agree, is for everyone out there is to have fun with the process. If you were to give a person one last piece of advice when it comes to doing video, Kerry, and you could just surmise it into one item, one topic, what would the one piece of advice you'd give them if they took nothing else away from this show tonight?
If you are doing more than 3 takes of a video, you are overthinking it.
Ooh. Yes. So true.
Short.
How often is the first take the right one?
For me, it's 50-50. It's either the first or the second. If it's a live video, it is what it is, and I'm okay with that. But if I've messed up some data or a statistic, I'll change it. But I'm okay with the flubs too. Yeah,
and that's good because people see that you're real, and that helps them relate and say, "Oh, I can do that too."
Yeah, absolutely.
Kerry, you are a gem. Thank you so very much for coming on the show tonight. We finally got her done, and I'm going to rest easy tonight. I'm going to sleep like a baby. We finally got the great Kerry Barrett on the Mind Body Business Show to reveal. We could do another 3 hours. I know I could, because I just so enjoy talking to you. All the times we've talked before. But sadly, it's time to bring the show to an end because I've gone over 7 minutes. It's on me. It's my fault. But hey, it's my show. I can do it if I want to. And Kerry's been gracious to hang along with me. And I know you're on the East Coast, so it's getting late there. And we want to be respectful of your time and everyone who's watching and listening as well. So with that, we're going to close her up on the behalf of the amazing and great Kerry Barrett. I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. And until next time, you know what, people, just stay with it. Don't give up. Keep crushing it. And above all, be blessed. Take care, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.